The trend is as expected. It's tough for conservatives, tough for Republicans in both the House and the Senate, but there's some good stories out there too, some victories that'll help make the battle a little easier.
All right, thanks.
All right, thank you, John. Speaking of Florida, we talked quite a bit about Florida there, Tom. We've got John Stemberger on the line on webcam from what hopefully will be a victory celebration a little bit later on tonight. John, are you there?
I'm here. Are you there?
There you are. Hang on, I got a wire caught up here. It's about to throw me right out of my chair. Looks like you got a lot of people hanging out with you. Tell me what's going on.
Well, before I do anything else, I want to introduce you to the main 4 reasons why I worked for the last 4 years to pass the Florida Marriage Protection Amendment. Starting with Hannah, my 1-year-old, who we're going to release. This is Benjamin, my 4-year-old. And Joseph Stemberger, my 7-year-old son. And, of course, my wife, Olivia.
All right, tell me what you're hearing where you are tonight. How's it looking?
Well, right now we are at 63.1% as of just 1 minute ago.
We're
very excited by that. That does not include any of North Florida. North Florida is a very conservative area, almost Bible Belt Southern, and so that's very encouraging results.
Oh, John, I can't tell you how proud all of us are here of that result, but regardless of the ultimate result, how proud we are of all of the work that you've done now over these last 4 years. It's been a 4-year process. I know you and your wife didn't know you would get into this deeply for this long, but you've been stalwarts at it, and so God bless you. Thanks so much for your work.
Well, Tom, there's a couple hundred people standing behind me, and these are the people that really did the work. I just kind of pointed the way, and they did what we asked them to do very faithfully, so we're very grateful for them.
So once again, you're at 63% without the conservative areas of North Florida. That's very encouraging. And the number you have to get to is 60%. Uh-oh.
Sounds like a celebration going on, John. What'd you just hear?
It's quite a celebration, actually.
Hey, in the days just prior to the election, there seemed to be a surge of support for this amendment. What do you think caused that? What do you think brought people to move toward voting for marriage?
Well, I think a lot of people are unaware that it is even happening, but once they understand what the issue is, our biggest problem is just our opponents, just the fraud and the deception of their messaging, saying it's going to hurt seniors and all this other messaging that has nothing to do with the effect of the amendment whatsoever. It's just the same Arizona strategy where they're trying to scare Florida's most vulnerable and precious citizens, our seniors. And so we've worked very hard to equip our senior communities and tell them, hey, this is about marriage. You know, I didn't work for the last 3.5, 4 years to take some little old lady's benefits away. I did this to protect marriage, and because we believe in marriage and family, these are fundamental human institutions that have served civilization since the beginning of time. And as we've seen in California and Massachusetts and even in Scandinavian countries, there are profound legal, moral, and social consequences when you unlock that door and begin to redefine marriage.
Hey, we're looking forward to this passing tonight. So far, it looks like it will with the 63% you just reported. Describe for our listeners and viewers around the rest of the country how this will change things in Florida. What will it do to add this to the state constitution?
Well, let me first, before I answer that question, tell you that we have not heard back from some of our largest South Florida counties that have incredibly dense populations. So we can't start the party yet because everywhere around the state we've polled above 60%, except for Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach. Those southeast, those 3 counties, the population is so dense, they were polling at 44% a year ago. So we still need to get those larger counties in order to know exactly what's happening.
Okay.
But what this means for Florida, if we do pass this, is that we stop so much policy nonsense from our opponents to try to transform marriage and try to really indoctrinate our children. We've seen in Massachusetts what's occurred with, you know, all of this nonsense about teaching children, second graders, from Heather Has Two Mommies and The King and the King. None of that will happen. The hate crimes that come along with this were you know, speech that is legitimate dissent from homosexual agenda is not, you know, stifled. So there's lots of things that are stopped, and really it changes nothing. It just prohibits our opponents from enforcing really a radical social agenda upon the rest of society.
When we first went to you there, you held up your kids and talked about them, and that's one of the reasons you're involved in this. Beyond that, what got you involved in this fight? Why was this so important to you personally?
Wow, we don't have the time for that story, nor do I have the ability to shed tears at this moment. But really, I feel like God has really called me to do this. We met 4 years ago with Senator Dan Webster, who's standing right next to me. in late November after the election, and there were several folks. I just felt the Lord calling me to do this, and I was fortunate enough to have those around me, the other state leaders, believe that they would support me. And so we started it, and we're very pleased to finish it tonight, prayerfully with a positive result.
Well, help our viewers understand where you are right now. Describe the scene. Where are you, and who's with you there tonight?
We are here. Can we get a witness from the crowd?
Sounds like you've got a few friends.
We are here broadcasting live from Orlando, Florida, at the First Baptist Church of Central Florida. The senior pastor is Pastor Clayton Clore. He is the Jim Garlow of Florida, as we like to call him. And we are here with about 200 supporters for our victory party, and we are just very thrilled to be here tonight.
All right, John, anything else you'd like to share before we let you go this evening? We so appreciate your taking some time out to chat with us.
Well, the thing that is most encouraging is that we have experienced so much opposition here in Florida. I mean, the opposition we have experienced is just unbelievable. I mean, from police officers threatening to arrest me for just, collecting petitions, to a number of other things that have happened, our opponents, the lies of their messaging, and all of the various things that have happened. It's just stunning that we're here. Getting some feedback online, so.
All right, John. It sounds like we're losing your audio a bit. The internet is still a dicey proposition, but we do appreciate your letting us get a little window into your celebration there, and we do pray that that is a celebration for Florida tonight.
Very good. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thanks,
take
John.
care now. We'll keep an eye on the results in Florida. Well, they do know how to cheer in Florida, don't they, Tom?
Yeah,
As you hear all that he was sharing, what do you hear about Florida? What does that mean for the proposition of marriage being between one man and one woman?
Well, I'm encouraged. It means if they can pull us over 60%, that's a huge statement from a very eclectic state where there's a lot of rabid opposition to the idea of marriage. And it's almost a bifurcated state north of the the I-4 or I-10 quarter or whatever it is, Orlando northward, very conservative. And I was not sure if John was saying they've heard more from those counties or not. So nonetheless, I'm encouraged. That was the one I was worried about, praying most about.
Yeah.
And it's not over yet, of course.
And we have 27 states so far that have passed marriage amendments, so we have 3 that are on the ballot this year that we'll be watching throughout the evening, and we will be tracking those numbers for you. Frankly, I've not heard much mention of them in the national media. They've pretty much been invisible from NBC, ABC, CBS.
Well, they have, and that's why we're glad to be able to provide this kind of service to people, to let them know what's important in the cause of righteousness and where all of this stands. There's a lot that's going on that's very important for the family tonight.
All right. Well, in just a moment, we'll get an update on races of interest to values voters around the country. You'll also hear about a particular gay activist's efforts to basically keep conservative candidates out of the media spotlight. You're watching the Focus Action Election Update.